Okay,
So
sir.
now,
Okay, sir.
fine. Now I made you host. Now you can share your screen. So meanwhile, you open that thing, right? Like just recap what we discussed yesterday. Yesterday we discussed about kind of Informatica architecture, like maybe like I can say we discussed like most of the important concepts on Informatica architecture, and we started with like what are the components in Informatica and what are the different kind of tools in even like in the client side. Okay, those are like designer, workflow manager, workflow monitor, and repository manager. So, and we started with a kind of a designer. So, okay. So just to recap again, okay, on these four major things, right? Like, because very, very important, like designer is help you to build a kind of a mappings, and repository manager is helpful to create a folders, and then workflow manager is used to configure your sessions, and workflow monitor is used to monitor the results. That's what like we learned yesterday, and even we try to bring the sources and we try to bring the targets, and finally we were able to create one a sample mapping, and we have seen like how to configure that mapping, and even how to execute the mapping, and even we have seen the number of the records, how many you are able to pass from one location to another location. So that is what we learned. Along with that, we did learn about a first transformation called source qualifier transformation. So these are the things yesterday we focused, and today also we are continuing most of the concepts. But let's try to start Informatica Power Center. So Satya, can you go to the services? Okay, can you do one
Yeah.
thing? Can you give me the control? Maybe
Yeah.
let me take the control.
I think I have given you the control.
Perfect.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Always before starting Informatica, right? First check it out whether the services are running up and running or not. The reason why I'm asking, in the reality, right? Like maybe in the real time scenario, your servers will never go down, but in the maybe in your missions, right? Your missions might restart, but in the real time, your missions will not get restart. Okay, so because those servers are like a 24/7 available servers, so there's a reason you won't face any kind of a problem. But coming to here, your mission might get restart like anytime. Okay, so there's a reason always try to check your services. And I cannot, now I lost the control, or it got stuck. Maybe it got stuck. Mm, okay, now I restarted my services. Okay, now I'm going to a designer. Okay, Satya, like let me control this now. So we already seen, right? This is what called a designer, right? Now click on OK for the designer. Now yesterday we did discuss like what exactly these things. These things are called a repositories, right? So whenever your Informatica services are up and running, so the first thing is, if you are an admin, normally you will open the administration console to see if everything is running fine or not. But in the reality, being a developer, normally you will not go and look into those things. Okay, first what you will do, you will try to start your repository. I'm just double clicking on this one. This is what my repository, where my metadata will store. Meanwhile, any questions, team? Anyone? Definitely will take some time. Okay, while this is opening, so what we will do is, yesterday I sent the files, right? Satya, can you able to download
Yeah.
them? Did you download it already?
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday itself we downloaded it.
Oh, fine. So now let me, I don't know, is your system is slow, or can you go to that folder?
Yeah.
See, try to open each and every file, whatever is listed there, right? So that you will understand and you will see like what exactly the data you're trying to handle. So the problem is if you don't understand the data, so it doesn't make any sense what exactly you're doing, right? So
So
always
these
try
are
to,
the files.
right. So always try to understand the data before even starting your coding. Okay, that's how you can do that mapping in a better way. Okay, and not only for that, if you don't understand the data, right, you cannot debug the code also properly. Okay, there's a reason. Always try to understand the structure and the data from the file, whatever you are trying to bring in, or the table, whatever you are trying to bring into your mapping. Okay, now fine. Now yesterday we tried to load the data into m underscore stage underscore payment. So any questions, like anyone tried building this mapping? Because the first maybe I can see like a one to three classes you will struggle in linking the things, or like maybe in connecting the pods, but like after that it will be easy part for you. Okay, now today we will try to standardize these labs. Okay, and we will create like a multiple schemas so that you will be it will be easy for everyone to perform the labs. Now, before going to that, so can we go to that Oracle? Can you start the Oracle? Everyone try to open your missions. Try to log into your Informatica Powercenter. Even in parallel, you can do this. What we are going to do is first we'll try to build a databases, or sorry, a schemas in respect to your labs. So what was our labs like yesterday we discussed, right? Like our labs are talking about loading the data into two layers. One is dimensions staging layer, and second thing is loading into data mart layer. The data mart layer, you are going to load the data into dimensions and facts. Okay, fine. Now, okay, let me take over from here. What I'm trying to do now is create user. Username is stage stage load. Instead of stage, what I can put stage underscore aura, or maybe that's okay for me for now. So the username, whatever I'm trying to connect, right? It's a stage underscore aura. Okay, means stage oracle identified by stage underscore aura. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a new schema. Now the user got created. Now grant DBA. Basically, I'm applying a kind of an highest privileges for this schema so that whatever you want, you can perform on this one. Stage underscore aura. And again, this is a DBA activity. It's not related to you, but anyway, you are working on your own mission, right? So you do have like all the privileges. Missing invalid privileges. Grant DBA. Fine. Now grant is done. Now try to connect this stage aura. So that maybe we will do this later. Try to build one more schema. That is same kind of an activity, but I'm creating one more user. That is source user. Create user instead of stage. What I'm doing, I'm using SRC source aura, and please raise a question to if you don't understand what I'm doing. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build three different schemas, because one is source, second one is stage, and third one is dimensions. I'm doing the same thing even for this schema. There is a last one is a data mart schema where I have my dimensions and facts. So DM and even so this is what my data mart schema. It's not a case sensitive, but better to. Total, how many schemas I'm creating? 3 schemas. I'll pass on this message, the queries to you. Please try to create everyone the same kind of a structure and feel like everyone is working in a project. Only difference is we don't have a DBS here. That's it. We are doing our own activity. Okay, I'm putting in a chart. Please try to copy this. Okay, Satya, maybe you need to copy paste, Control V.
Yeah.
Okay, even I can do it, right? Just a sec. Where is your
June. This is so. Or the top of it, there's, yeah.
That's okay. What I will do, I'll put in a notepad. Okay, later you can try. Okay, just post it in the group.
Yeah, sure.
Fine. Everyone try to use the same thing so that there won't be any confusion during your Q&A sessions. Okay. So if in case of any issues or anything, right, immediately we can resolve it and we can understand what exactly we are doing. Now, fine. Now you connect it to a 3 different kind of schemas. Now what I will do is I'll just refresh this. So what is the connection we have given? Maybe first one is src underscore Aura. Okay, that is what the connection name I'm giving here. And that is what my username also. And then the password also src underscore Aura, but in the small case letters. The rest of things will not get changed. Just try to test this.
I think we have given a connection Sandeep, I guess. Chaitanya.
Which connection, Sandeep?
Yeah, in the left one. Yeah, the third one. Yes.
No. See, this connection is different. See, we build like a new connections now, new schemas. We're supposed to build a new connections also. Now let's see, like maybe the service name is ORCL1521. What we are doing is earlier, like whatever he created, I just like ignoring it. I'm trying to create my own.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My own connections basically. So he is using ORCL as a connection. Okay, my status is success connect. Now you will see a new one, Aura src underscore Aura. Same way you have to do for next one. That is stage underscore Aura. Okay. Same way I have to do the next one. That is DM.
Service name you have to change. I think so.
Service name we already mentioned ORCL, right? Oh, come on. Where is this one, man? Your notepad. maybe. Okay. I created, I gave a wrong username. Sorry, wrong password. Stage_TM. Maybe you guys could give a proper username. Now I cannot dig like to change this one. Only Satya. Just remember this point. Even for DM
Yeah.
underscore Vara also stage_TM is the password. Okay, just make a note of that one. Fine. Now, see, I created like a 3 schemas, PM underscore Vara, SRC underscore Vara, stage_Vara. The reason for this one is because basically what I'm having to perform my lab. Okay, let me put it this way. To perform my lab, what I need is I need to have 3 different kind of sources. Okay, one is my source. One of my source is a kind of a database. Okay, this database, right? All these tables will be under this src underscore Vara schema. From here, I need to bring this data to the staging layer. Okay, so everyone knows like what is staging layer, right? So in the staging layer, I will do all my logics, all my calculations or whatever I have to do. I'll perform this thing. And once this is done, then I'm going to bring the entire data, okay, into a new layer called DM schema. Okay, and this is the stage schema, sorry, source schema, and this is what stage_Vara schema. From here, I need to bring the data into next layer, that is DM schema. But in the DM schema, I do have 2 different kind of tables. Okay, so in the DM schema, I do have 2 different kind of tables. What are those? Dimension tables and fact tables. Is this clear? Any questions on this one? What I'm doing?
No, Chief.
Okay, this is how I need to load the data now. This is what our project. So whatever the tables are part of the sources, try to put them in the Oracle, sorry, source_Oracle. And whatever the tables related to the stage, put under stage_Oracle. And whatever the tables are related to dimensions and facts, put underscore DM_SRC. Sorry, DM_Vara. Okay, if you can understand this thing, then I'll jump onto the lab part. Now the first one, SRC_Vara. Everyone supposed to create these kind of connections. I'm sorry, I disconnected. Now we'll go to the structures, whatever I shared, right? So see, you can see the source script, right? Try to open, maybe if possible, open this in a SQL only. Let's see, like if I can open that, the same file in my database. The reason is all those are like Oracle scripts only. So directly you can execute from your machine. Can you guide me? Is it in downloads?
Yeah, Chief. Files. Here we go. Source.
Okay, source SQL and targets. Okay, both the things I'm opening. Just try to observe the source, right? So there are like a multiple commands you have. Okay, but like just focus because this is the first time you are doing, right? You no need to worry about like grant resource because we are not granting. We already built our own thing, so we are not building with the name resource. Okay, so basically he's giving this resource privilege to SDBU. SDBU is in a username, but we are not doing all these things. So no need to drop because we never had anything. Directly create a table. But before creating the table, just try to see which user you are in right now. Okay. So you are connected to where? Earlier I connected to this one also. Okay. I'm just disconnecting everywhere. Okay, fine. I disconnect from DM. Now Hope I'm not with the Oracle. No. See, if you are connected, right, it will ask you to disconnect. If it is not, then it will ask you to connect. That's a simple thing. Perfect. Yeah, only for this one, disconnect. Fine. Even you can ask like a show user or something, but like that's okay. So I don't want to complicate with so many commands. Now, create table product. This is what the syntax to create a table. I prefer you to write this statement. Okay, don't just like select and run. Because when you write it right, you will try to understand so many statements and so many syntaxes. Okay, so here, if you look at this thing, right? So it's kind of a syntax which will create a structure in your Oracle src underscore or a schema. Now I'm directly executing it. The connection is src or okay. Now table got created, right? Like that, I do have one more table. Okay, create, and one more table got created. Guys, this is only for my lab preparation. Okay, don't get confused like what I am doing, like in an Informatica class, why I am dealing with the database. This is what lab part we have to do. Instead of building like in one single virtual machine, I just like gave you this all the scripts. Now try to understand what I'm doing here. I am adding a primary key on your tables now. For the product ID is a primary key. If you remember, like we are talking about the referential integrities. These are the referential integrities, primary key and foreign keys. Okay, every table is having a different kind of name, primary keys. And now it's matter of foreign key. So all these syntaxes, I suggest better you to have a grip. Okay, no one will ask you in interview, but still, but in the on the floor, in the real time, right? You definitely need this thing. Now this is part of the data. Okay, so what you can do instead of running one by one, right? Because you have to insert like so many records. So for every record, it's one statement, insert statement. Anyone is getting confused or anything? Am I confusing you guys?
No, Chaitanya, but what actually the alter command will do?
See, for a column, right? You already built a column as a general column. What I'm doing now,
Yeah.
I'm trying to modify that column as a primary key. I'm adding a constraint to that.
Okay.
Okay, so if without using alter, right, you cannot add a primary key. Altering means basically you're doing a changing of a structure.
Okay, okay, Chaitanya. Yeah, got it.
Okay, now insert the product cost table. I'm moving on to the next one. Now I'm trying to put the data into those tables. I really insist everyone to write these things manually. At least like, I don't want you to like run like all the statements one by one, but at least like for one kind of a syntax like insert, right? Try to execute it like with the 4 different kind of values so that you'll use to these kind of basic activities. These all are kind of basic activities who are joined in a project as a fresher, right? Normally those guys used to do these things, okay? But you are joining as an experienced person. So always remember, people expectation is these all are kind of silly things, okay? But I can understand we are like freshers are a lot better than us. The reason is their brains are like a kind of open and they don't have any kind of hesitation. But if you compare our brains with them, right, it's almost like a select stuff from tab. It's almost a kind of incomparable. That's what I can say. Now, I created 3 tables: dealership, product cost. Now, always make a habit of reading the data. Okay, try to see like how the data. Select start from dealership. I suggest everyone from today onwards try to write 20 queries. Try to practice, doesn't matter what is query. Okay, try to run different kind of queries, not like all same. So this is how you can see the data for the dealership. This is what I inserted now. Okay, now the next thing. What is the other one? Product, right? So can you observe what is this data? Product ID is 2000, group ID 1, and product description is Cavera GTS Cube, and group description sports, and division vehicles. The description is vehicles. So try to understand what kind of information this is. Basically here we are talking about a different kind of an accessories, as well as like maybe you can call them maybe kind of a vehicle accessories, or maybe at the same time you did mention like a vehicle names also. So like that you do have like for every product, right? There is a product ID. Okay, and all these products belongs to some groups. Okay, you can see one is repeated multiple times, means all the products 2000 and 2002 2003 belongs to group 1. Like that you need to analyze the data. Okay, see what is this group ID is group description is sports, and for SUVs the group ID is 2. Okay, for touring the group ID is 11. Can you see? Wherever you see touring, right, it's 11. Wherever you see sports, right, it's 1. Okay, so that is how your data is classified. Now see, this is what product cost. Okay, I do see supplier description is null. Okay, I don't know like total how many is that like null for everything, or yeah, is null for everything. Okay, so whenever you get into the project, right, try to ask these questions like why the supplier description is null? Is the data is not coming in? Okay, what I have to do? So do you want me to load the null as it is? So these kind of questions you're supposed to check with the team. Okay, now fine. This is clear, right, guys? Everyone?
Yeah, Chief.
Yeah. Now try to log into in a stage underscore aura. That means now I'm trying to log in to the stage. The reason is I need to load the data for stage. Sorry, I need to create the stage tables. For that, where are my files?
Yeah, there on here. The file manager. Chetan, yeah.
So the DM tables and the stage tables, right? They are in a. Oh, I think we already opened that one, if I remember correctly. Both of
Yeah,
things.
in database already.
Yeah, I already
There,
opened it, right?
top one.
So
Yes.
yeah, to avoid the confusion, what I'm doing is I'm trying to close this thing. Commit changes, yes. And remember, whenever you do something, right, always try to commit. Okay, what is a commit? What are the changes you perform? Basically, they will get saved in the database. If you don't do the commit, right, normally they will not get saved. No, what normally? They will not get saved. Any updates, any deletes, any new changes will not get updated. Fine. Now, if you can see, right, like there are so many tables here. So what I will do is I will go and check only for the stage tables, not for anything else. Of course, I do see like a dimension tables, because dimensions and facts, I would like to do them on DM schema, not here. Yes, very fastly we'll move on from now onwards. The reason is it's a kind of a lab activities. Okay, it's not a concept. So if you miss something, right, it's very difficult to catch up. So day to day, every day, like okay, do the practice, not like the theoretical part, what you guys are doing right now. So please try to practice or else you'll miss it. See, it will ask, do you want to build on the stage, Vora? Yes. Okay, now move on to the next table. It's a little bit manual effort. Actually, you guys supposed to do this, but okay, the next table. Anyway, so I don't want to go one by one, guys. You already know this thing, how to do this. But like when you are doing it, please do one by one. Okay. I'm just going all the statements in one shot. Name is already used. Maybe yesterday we used this table. Like not in this schema, right? Yeah, I built almost 9 tables now. Okay, let me check total how many stage tables are there overall. Total 9, and I started with line 13. So total 9 tables, perfect. So total 9 tables were built. Now what we have to do is we have to start our lab parts. Okay. Now maybe I'll come back to that DM later. For now, I'll just focus on the stage loads. Okay. Once we're done with the stage loads, then the next step is going on to the DM load. Is this clear, guys? Everyone? And even
Yeah, Chetan, it's clear.
okay, I'm taking back the control. And Vamshi, do you have any questions till now? Are you seeing anything weird?
No.
Or is this concept is new thing for you?
Yeah, it's a concept is new thing, but in real time we have to do all those things what we discussed right now.
See, you normally you don't build a table, but like see in the I'll explain the scenario.
Okay.
For example, you have an environment where you already have all the tables.
Okay.
But those tables, right? Like those tables are only meant for the project. But I have to do some kind of a manual testing.
Okay.
I have to do some kind of a research R&D.
Okay.
Then what you have to do? Anyway, in the development environment, you will have an access to create anything.
Yes.
So what I will do, I need to have this kind of an knowledge to build a temporary tables. Definitely, I should have this knowledge.
Okay.
So in that case, yes, you have to. But if you ask me, if the project is for the project, do you have to build any tables? No, not for the project.
Okay.
For the project, DBA will build this environment for you. He will build the schemes, he will build the constraints, he will build everything.
Okay.
But if you want to do any additional testing, because project is not like it will go in a straight way like you expect. You might need to do like so many things to debug the things, or you have to do so many trial and errors. For all those things, you cannot use the existing structures.
Okay.
Sometimes you might need to build the things also.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So let me share my screen. Yesterday, we were discussing about the first lab, that is payment data, and we try to load into the stage payments. And guys, please perform this activity. So on the new schemas, okay, I don't want to repeat the same thing again. How to bring the sources and how to load the data into stage payment table. That is what our first mapping, and it's simple mapping. There is nothing you have to think about this thing. Just have that recording once and review it and just try to follow the same thing. So trust me, after going through like maybe multiple mappings, right, you feel like it's kind of a cakewalk. So what did we accomplish from this last lab? How to get a source, especially a flat file, that too a comma delimited flat file, and how to bring that into your Informatica Powercenter, and how to bring the data from that file into a relational object. That relational object is your target table, and what is the use of a source qualified transformation, and how we can implement the source qualified transformation. These are the things we learned from the lab A. Now, we're supposed to learn about the homogeneous joins. Yesterday also, we discussed about the homogeneous joins. What are the homogeneous joins? For example, if I am bringing the data from same kind of a environment, or maybe if I am bringing the data from same kind of a database, then it's called homogeneous joins. For example, like my source system is a kind of an application called claims. Okay, this claims application is hosted on DB2 database. And there is another application, loans. Even this loans application also hosted on the same DB2 database, and both the databases are same. Okay, then if I want to join this claim table with the loan table, right, what I have to do? So I have to perform a join. This join, I'm going to call it as a homogeneous joins. Okay, then what is it opposite to this? So opposite to this is a heterogeneous join. Okay, we'll discuss that when we are talking about the joiners. Okay, but for now, try to understand when the join is performed on the same source database at runtime, right? Basically, you are going to call it as a homogeneous joins, and we can perform that homogeneous join among two relational objects which are from the same source instance. And for that, we can use that source qualified transformation. Where you are going to use that? So there is a property like user defined join. Then there you can write that join condition. Okay, while by writing that join condition, you can accommodate that homogeneous join in the source qualifier. Clear, right? I'll show you. No need to worry. Now, this is what our next lab, guys. Okay, so what I'm saying here, product data is one of the table, product cost is another table. You have to bring this data into stage product table. Okay, now let's go back to Informatica. Now, whoever didn't attend the class yesterday, right? Even just the same thing, whatever we did yesterday, we are trying to do the same thing today. So it's a second lab. Okay, Satya, I think you need to give the permission again by sharing your screen.
Yeah, I have given you the control.
Thank you.
Sure.
Now, let's go to the Informatica Designer. So what is the lab I was talking about? So basically, I was talking about product data and product cost. I have to bring into the stage product. So now look at that product data and product cost, where you have that product data and product cost. In source Vora, I'm just going there. Okay, I'm trying to see, select the store from tab. No, I would like to see in source side, right? Because these are two source tables, not a stage tables. Now we are pretty much clear on our things, product data and product cost data. These two things I am supposed to bring into a new table or like a stage table. I need to bring into a staging layer, that is product or like a stage underscore product. Clear, right? The requirement is clear, right? At least.
Yeah, Chetan.
Okay, fine. Now go to Informatica. Even in Informatica also we'll try to bring new connections. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, the first thing is you have to open your folder. Right now he already opened the folder, so don't see it. But the first thing you have to do is first connect or open, so that this mapping canvas will be open for you to start your development. And the next thing is, first you have to name your mapping, what exactly you are trying to build, right? Just create it and give a name. M underscore, what exactly I'm doing, stage. What is the target table name I said? Any? Okay, let me. Yeah, this is what the problem. I cannot go back to my screen whenever I was doing this. Okay, that's it. Can you take out my control just for a minute?
Yeah.
And maybe what I will do is like, I'll share all this lab part also to you guys so that even you can practice this. Okay, so basically all the payment or not the payment information. Product date, product and product cost into stage product. Yeah, please give me the access. Fine. Now let's go to the designer. Stage product. Okay, and what I'm doing, I'm doing a kind of a load operation. Maybe you'll ask like why load, but I'll come back to this thing later. But this is what my mapping name. What exactly you have to do to perform this mapping? What is the purpose of a mapping? To bring the data from sources and to load the data into a target. But here I have a different situation, like I need to join two tables. So where you are going to get the source information in source analyzer. This is what the place where you have to get the sources. Now, always remember there are a couple of points here. In the source analyzer or target analyzer, always never ever delete the things. If you delete this from here, right, it's permanently deleted. Okay, but if you want to see a clear canvas, right, what you have to do, right click in this canvas and clear all so that everything will be gone. Okay, not from your metadata, but if I delete, it will go from metadata. Okay, just make sure of that. Import from database because my source is a database object. Now, so do I have a connections? No, I didn't build any connections. Okay, basically I have to build the drivers when in respective to Oracle, I mean the designer part. So maybe someone built that Oracle, but like I have to build a kind of a new driver. Okay, I can use like any one of the driver. Okay, so anyway, I'll go with this native driver, whatever Oracle is provided. So this is src underscore Oracle. The host name is localhost. Always the port number will be 1521. And SID, I believe, I don't know what SID he gave, but service name, I believe RCL. Okay, now test connect. src underscore Ora. These are the crucial steps, guys. And all these activities you have to do when you enter to the project. Of course, either you or Informatica admin. But you should have an idea what I'm doing right now. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a bridge between your database and the designer so that you can get the sources into your Informatica design. Now, this is what for SRC Oracle. Fine. Now, come on. Okay, I got it. Now, add one more thing, like for target as well, right? I have to bring for both. Target is stage underscore Oracle, right? You might get confused. Like here I'm using Oracle, there I would just use Vora. That's the reason I'm giving a different names. Both not these are not the same. See, stg underscore Vora is a schema name or username. One five two one ORCL test connect stg underscore Vora. stg underscore Vora. Okay. So now connection established. Please try to understand this thing. Now what I'm doing, I'm trying to establish a connection between your designer and your database. Apply. Click on OK. Now I got my source, I got my target, right? Now, this is only one-time activity, guys. Whenever you get into the project, right? Normally people will do this. So now you have to bring your source. Once again, I'm showing now how to bring the source. Okay. After doing that pre-activity, go to sources, import from database. Only the lead developer will do this thing. Like the rest of all the team members can use this one. So if you are working in a real projects, right? Every developer will not need not to do this thing. Only one time the lead developer has to perform this thing. That's it. And he will provide the username and password, or whatever the username and password you are using the database, right? The same thing has to be used here. SRC, right? SRC underscore. Normally the username and owner name, both the things will be same. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that. Now I'm trying to connect to that specific schema. Try to see. You have to see all the tables, whatever is listed in your database here. See, product and product cost. Okay. So now click on OK. What I'm doing now, I'm bringing these two tables into my Informatica. Okay, fine. Can you see this thing, this linkage? The reason is these two are like kind of having a referential integrity. That is like one place, it's kind of these two things, right? Like a product ID here and product code here are having a communication or like a connectivity among themselves. That's the reason you can see this connection. Okay, but that's okay. Just you can ignore that one as well. Whenever you do any changes, right, just save it. Now you have two sources under SRC underscore Oracle. Okay, product cost. Now I got my sources. Now let's go to the target. To go to the target, where you have to go? To the target designer. Okay, clear all. Targets. Import from database. Now try to get this stg underscore Oracle. I don't know how many are able to understand. If you don't understand, please ask the question. Guys, at least first time you have to practice this. It will be so many active steps, right? You might get confused or you might not remember. That is quite possible. So that's the reason what I'm saying is always do this at least like this 1 to 2 days, practice most of the labs. Now, what is my target table? Stage underscore payment. Okay, fine. A table with the stage underscore payment already exists in your repository. You can either rename the table or replace a table in the repository. What I want to do is I want to replace this thing. Okay, and I'm just replacing it because yesterday we did sample mapping, right? Maybe that's the reason. Now, fine. I got it. Now I'm ready for mapping. Like what I have to do, I have to bring my sources, two sources. Whenever you are bringing the sources, right, that source qualified transformation is a default one, which comes along with the source. Okay. And next, my target. Oh, I think I took the wrong one. It's a stage underscore product, right? Not the payment. Guys, no one focusing.
Yeah, actually, I recognize that Chaitanya, but
Okay, fine.
I think
So it's a stage underscore product, right? So I'm bringing it.
yes,
Okay, save it. You can see mapping is invalid. Why? Because you just brought a sources, not the targeted.
yes.
Just bring the target as well. Now you have a source, you have a target, but how can I move from two different kind of a source qualifiers? So source qualifier is a kind of a transformation. Okay, and these are the green ones are kind of a sources, and this is the target. But I need to perform a join between these two. That's the reason what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this thing. Any one. You can delete either upper one or like a bottom one, whatever it is. Now, try to analyze the columns. The first thing what I have to do is I need to have the joiner one. What is the joining thing here? I clearly mentioned in my requirements. Product ID is a kind of a joiner one. In this one, I don't have a product ID, but I do see a product code is there. How I can make it like a kind of a comparable thing, like by looking into the database only. I need to see the data first. What exactly I'm doing. Okay, select star from.
Chaitanya, the relationship between the product table and the product cost, there was one linkage, right? I mean, one port has been connected that is related to primary key and foreign key.
Just a second. See, here is a product ID, right? 2001, 2002, 2003. Just try to understand the same data in product cost also. Here also product code is kind of a same thing, okay? Or the best way is you have to write a queries like from A, this is one of the table, and product. B, where A dot product code equals to B dot. Any questions, team? A dot star, comma, B dot star. Guys, you should have this basic knowledge from on the SQLs, okay? Writing a queries and all these things kind of a day-to-day activities for you from now onwards. Now I'm just trying to say like I'm able to get the data or not. See, I can get the data. Okay, now let's go back to your designer. Okay, now Satya, you're asking something. So the linkage,
Yeah,
right?
the
Yes. So basically what
Yes.
he's trying to tell is these two things are kind of having a joiner relationships where you can perform a join.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not related regarding to foreign key and primary key.
No, it's not related to the primary key and foreign key, but it's related to the primary keys or like a relationships among these two tables.
Okay, got it.
Or maybe I can do one thing. Maybe you're right. Just a sec. Let me open those queries. Okay. So even that is quite possible. Even, but if it is a foreign key, right? Normally it won't be a kind of a primary key in this table. Okay. So normally the primary key of one table will be a kind of a foreign key in another table. When it is a foreign key, right? It will not be a primary key for that table. Now, whatever you can see here, product ID is a primary key and product code is a primary key. Both are primary key to their respective tables. If it is a foreign key, right? In that scenario, it won't be a primary key here. It will be listed somewhere in the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, but this is not a primary key and foreign key relationship, but it's definitely a kind of a relationship like it's denoted the kind of a key it's defined is same. Yeah, maybe if you want to understand this point, right, you have to go to the database once. I'll tell you. Go to the source Sora. Maybe they both are defined for the same kind of a primary key. The name of the primary key is same. Okay, so that's okay. You can check it out. but it's not for sure. It's not a primary key and foreign key. It's a primary key in both the places. Now,
Okay.
fine. I'm bringing even these columns. Now, I'm opening the source qualifier transformation. Go to properties. Okay. Always try to understand like what exactly is mentioned here. The first one is SQL query, means you can override the query, whatever is listed there, right? You can simply override. But how you are going to check? Connect to your source. Okay, src underscore para. Password also same. Always try to generate SQL. It will list you like what exactly the SQL, right? Cannot generate the query because there are no valid fields projected from the source qualifier. So you have to understand one more thing. If you don't send them out, right, it cannot generate the query. If you want to generate the query and see what exactly happening behind that, you have to send them out. Means this ports has to go out. Without having this linkage, you cannot generate the query. Fine. Now user defined join. So next property. See here, the product ID from this table equals to, from the product cost, the product code. Okay. Just click on OK. Now I did mention the user defined join. We'll come back to that the rest of the ports later. But for now, just try to understand we are doing only homogeneous join. I did mention my join condition. Now, okay, I don't think much about the source qualifier. Now think about joining or like a linking into the target. Now, see what is that join condition on product ID, right? So either I can take this product ID or this product code. Anything is perfect fine, because anyway, if both are same, the values from these two columns are same, then only it will go out. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this product ID as the name is matching. But it's optional. You can select this one or this one, at least for this column. And group ID, yes, it is coming from the upper table. Product description, group description, division description. Even I can do all the ports even at the same time or multiple ports. Now supplier description, component ID, product cost. These things are coming from bottom table. Now this is what my mapping. Now I will show you one shortcut. Yesterday we built a session and workflow, but today I will show you one shortcut to create a session and workflow. Just click on mapping, then go to generate workflow. Here I can create by selecting reusable sessions or workflow with the reusable sessions. I would like to build workflow as well. Click on next. Now just try to mention the integration service. By default you select this thing, and next the source connection, connection and target connection. Right now I don't have any connections, even I have to build the connections. Okay, now because just now I built that databases, right? So even I have to build the connections. I will do that only after going there. I can in the workflow manager. So now I'm just creating a kind of a structure. That's it, nothing else. Now my workflow got selected, created. Now I need to configure this. Where my workflow got created? In my workflow manager. So for that, I need to go to my workflow manager. Whatever I explained, right, is just a shortcut, but don't depend on that one. You created manually. Okay, now just check it out whether it's got created or not. Stage product, right? And where is the session? Always session will be in the session only. Sorry, sessions folder. So if I want to do the changes on this one, right, the configurations, so I have to bring this into task developer. Then go to mapping, select this, and the connections are pointing to the old one. Okay, did you observe ORCL? Even this one ORCL. Because I don't have a connections, I have to build the connections. For that, for a new connection, right, normally you have two options. Either I can go to the connections over here, or even from here also I can build the connection. I'll do one thing. Yeah, this property is not enabled, at least here. Normally you can build the connections from here as well. Yeah, somehow it's disabled here. That's okay. It's all based on the licensing, but maybe not. That's okay. We'll go with the alternative way. So connections, go to relational, because this is what whatever the database we are dealing is relational database. Go to relational, and here create a new. It is a Oracle, right? Always have the native connection type. And whatever I'm building right now is kind of an src underscore Oracle, and username is src underscore ra, and password also same. Connection string is warcl. Okay, click on. Okay, you cannot test it here. That's okay. And I have to create one more, that is for stage or target, you can call. stg underscore Oracle, stg underscore ora. Now I created two connections, guys. One is for source and one is for target. Now select those connections. For source, give the source one. For target, give the target one. That is STG Oracle. Now always make sure it is a normal. I'll come to this part later, but try to understand that part. And always the stage load will be truncate and load. Okay. So the reason is we are truncating the existing data if anything is available on the table and reloading it. Save it. Now go to workflow designer. You already built that workflow. Okay. Now everything is ready. I'm executing it. Before executing, any questions, guys?
No, Chetan.
Now I executed this. Now my stage product table is loaded. Total how many records? If you want to see that, you have to get the run properties. Okay. Normally,
48.
either you can go in this way, right click, get run properties, or even you can do this one, properties one. So expand the source and target statistics. So 48 records got loaded into my target. But am I doing the right thing? How you are going to validate this thing? First, you have to go to database. Whatever the query I wrote, right? So try to see, like, am I writing the right one or not? So I'm not sure. Where is that query? Right. So this is what my query. So total how many records I'm coming? Same thing I'm doing, right? Select so-and-so columns from table A and so-and-so join condition. So whenever you are doing a unit testing, right, always perform this kind of a validation. What I'm doing, select count star from. Yes, I mean, don't think that without SQL you can handle the Informatica or any kind of a data related projects. You should have a good knowledge on the sequels for sure. Yeah, so total count is 48, right? Now, whatever I'm expecting, the same thing is happening here, but still, is the data is coming like as expected. Every column is populating as expected. For that, how you are going to see? I need to see only those columns in my source and try to compare with the target. So select star from stage underscore product. Try to see the data, whatever is came in, right? So you have to take like at least sample records, okay, and you have to build the unit test case document. Like product ID is coming like as expected in the source. Yes, for every column you have to compare, okay, at least for few records. That is called unit testing. What exactly you are going to perform in the real time. Fine. With this note, I'm stopping here, guys. So I think already took 15 minutes extra. That's okay. So can you stop this? Satya?
Yeah.
Yes, tomorrow I definitely need you guys to practice on this one so that like we can move to the next transformation, because this is what like kind of a crucial one, source qualifier. If you don't understand this thing, right, because every mapping has to start with the source qualifier. Okay, without source qualifier, at least for the mappings for which relational objects and flat files as a source. Okay, so for sure you should start with the source qualifier. Any questions, guys?
Hi Chaitanya.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what we use most of the times, we use relational data source.
It depends on the projects, right? Project to project.
Okay.
So sometimes your project might have like a relational, sometimes flat files, sometimes XML, sometimes web services. Anything is possible.
Okay.
Okay.
And one more question: as a developer, we need to write any test cases like that?
Yeah, for unit testing, you have to write your own test cases, right?
Okay.
So that's what I told you, right? So you should
Yes,
see the counts first. You should
Mhm.
see the like a column to column, and you should see like a, whatever the business purpose is, the joining is happening properly or not. All
Okay.
these kind of something.
Okay.
Okay, let me share my screen quickly so that I can give you like what exactly I'm expecting as part of the lab for tomorrow. So, where are you guys? So tomorrow I'm expecting you guys supposed to build 2 flows, or maybe you can create a separate mapping also. I'm okay. You have to bring the dealership data into stage dealership. Simple thing, just don't use any logic or anything. Okay, and promotions data into stage promotion. No joining, nothing. These are 2 separate. First flow, this one, second flow. Maybe in the same mapping, you can use the both the sources, but I'm not joining. Remember, 2 separate flows. Okay, clear? Any questions on this lab? Can you able to do this? Or if you get confused, even you can build a separate mapping. Dealership data to stage dealership one mapping, promotion data to stage promotions another mapping. Or both the things you can put in a single mapping also. Okay, you will have a 2 sources and 2 targets. Instead of 2 sources and 1 target, right? You will have a 2 sources and 2 targets. Clear, right?
Yeah, Chetan.
Okay, please try to close, because the problem is if you don't close these stage tables, right, you cannot go to the dimension tables. If you don't close the dimensions, you cannot go to the fact tables. That's level of dependency is there. So we are building a small data mart now. So everyone's participation is needed. Okay, guys. So maybe that's all from my end. If you don't have any questions, we can wind it up. Thanks, everyone.